And then she said, too high. Just too high. Too high. Hello, I am Britt, and this is Anissa, and we are a little unhinged today.
Speak for yourself. Mind you, I am dressed in blue.
You are dressed. Thank goodness. Do you
fancy
join
shirt
meetings
on.
when you're not dressed? Like what?
Well,
I've never seen you not dressed in my life.
I feel more dressed today because I put on a kimono. I still have sweatpants and slippers on though. Just so you know. It's only from the top up.
Top up. It's just the top up. Well, I don't even know. Like yesterday was ridiculous. What's happening? That's what's happening for me. Let me just tell you, I picked up my children from school yesterday. It is baseball season, as everyone knows. So we are getting ready. We have a baseball game that night, so we have to get home, get supper. Cash has himself on a very strict regimen of catch. And I'm sitting there and we get rear-ended. It was not bad at all. Nobody was hurt. Mina's a little shook and won't sit in the front seat anymore.
Well, that's because she needs a seatbelt. I just had this conversation with you about that dog in the harness.
You did. You are right. So we ended up sitting there, and I did call the police for a police report because I don't trust anyone to not be dumb. So, and they were not happy that I was making them wait, which I'm like, you rear-ended me, if we remember correctly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so we went straight from there to hurry up, come home, eat, get dressed for the baseball game because I am team mom, not snack mom. I am team mom. I'm not sure how I volunteered for that one, but we found that out last night. And
what does that like? Do you have a first aid kit and the snacks and what?
I don't
does that
know.
mean?
I don't know. I was handing out snacks and I found a helmet in the dugout that was left, and I'd bought water bottle
put it on your
and
head.
I told the team.
You should have put the helmet on your head to see if it had head lice.
He's like, okay, I'll make the announcement that you're team mom. And I'm like, am I?
Oh my God. Yeah, because you have control issues.
I do have control issues. I wonder where those come from. But right before the game, I'm on a meeting to give our team support. And somebody is supposed to be on a different meeting, so she couldn't attend the meeting that I was on. And I had to get off the meeting. And so then I jumped on the other meeting and couldn't find my mother anywhere. So I called her, and I'm sure she really enjoyed my phone call of where are you? Get on the meeting. Because then I get a message that's like, Alicia could have handled it. I was like, I know she could have handled it. So then we go straight from there to here back home after the game, and we have homework. I don't even know.
So let me tell you. I sit on a meeting for 15 minutes. If the owners don't show up, guess what? My time is too valuable to be sitting there chit-chatting for the next half hour. So then I had to drive to Rapid, and there's a 15-minute window where I don't have service. So I get back in service, and Canyon's like, they're on. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm not getting on. Like, I sat there for 15 minutes. And thank you, Canyon and Crystal, for being good team players and being on the meeting. But I was like, I'm not getting on it. And the other thing is, I didn't want to go to that other meeting you made me go to. I specifically avoided that meeting by saying I was going to the other meeting that I normally don't go to.
I know.
I never go to that meeting.
I understand. I'm well aware of your escape maintained behavior that has occurred.
I'm like, I didn't want to go to that meeting, but I got on the meeting because it still
Alicia had it
handled.
Yeah, no, Alicia had it handled. However,
whatever.
Okay, let me talk about our team members really quick. I love them to death because have you all seen that TikTok floating around where it's like two staff team members trying to figure something out, and it's like, do you see the black cord? And everyone pulls out the black cord. If you see the black cord, do not pull out the black cord. So then they plug the black cord in. If you have pulled out the black cord, do not plug the black cord back in. Like, it's quite a TikTok, and that is how sometimes I feel like our team members.
Well, it's because, I mean, to be fair, do they ever really know which way we're going to be coming
exactly. I feel like it's me and you. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, oh my God, we're going to follow Dr. Farley. Oh, wait, hold on. Nope. We're going to Dr. Jepsen. Oh, crap. Nope. I'm going back to Dr. Farley. Oh, crap. Like, that's how I feel that it is. They're like, I don't know.
It's, you've been on a roll this week, though. So
it's only Wednesday.
I know. It seems so long. So long. So long. So we are working on building relationships. And this is called
no. Yeah. Not we.
Pairing.
There's no we.
Pairing, no we. Building rapport, things like this. This is what we're doing. So we set up a meeting with a school district, and we get to the meeting, and they have the entire school district. They
bring in the cavalry for us.
They did. And so Britt and I are on video, and Jackie and Taylor are in person. And it just went south.
Which, let me say, shout out to my cousin. She was the most professionally dressed. She had a nice blazer on. She did. She was legit.
She did. She was very well spoken. The rest of the Jepsens were not. We were a little hot. And so the difference, it's so funny to watch us all, how we handle things. Like Taylor just starts
rambling everything.
And then she's like, she can't like bring her, she's like, I know what I want to say, but I can't get my thoughts in. When I am super pissed,
she just stops talking.
I either stop or I get super calm.
Ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Or her voice goes monotone.
I was so pissed. And then there's Britt, who
I feel like I did compose my passion very well. I stated statistics. I let them know the emotional side of it. And then I let them know when we were done. And that there was going to be no resolution that came.
It's your tone. It's your tone.
So every morning, our liaison, speaking of building relationships, she messages one of our company their schedule for the day. And today she's messaged, because she's bubbly. She is bubbly as heck. And how we are friends sometimes, I don't even, because I am not bubbly. But she sent a nice little bubbly message that says,
spring.
Happy spring. There we go. Oh, I hope the spring is beginning to bloom for you there.
And I love
the office manager at the center,
who I love,
who fits in perfect. Like she is a part of the team. Anyway, she's like, unfortunately, it snowed for us, so spring feels a bit delayed. It's like, thank you for your bubbliness. We are now. No, but y'all got snow?
Yeah. A lot of snow.
We went out, and then our producer just told us there were tornadoes places.
Well, we're moving horses to a different pasture, which
is exhausting for me, just so you know.
Love moving.
I'm exhausted by it.
We're just making fence. So the place that we're moving them is, I think it's up on a little bit of a Sioux Falls, geez. South Dakota is not very high anyway, but it is at 6,000 feet. I'm used to being at 0. I was in Kansas. I think we're at 1,000, whatever. And it's on the side of a hill. Plus, I'm about 25 pounds overweight after this move. And it does not make for a good mixture. And we're cleaning up sticks and stuff. Oh my God. I thought my heart was going to explode. So we're up there and it's raining. And I'm like, we have to go up when it's raining because we have to move the horses Sunday. And it starts snowing. And then by the time we left, there were 3 inches on the ground. And we're supposed to have the pasture ready, which is probably not going to happen. But that's fine. It's fine. It'll all work out. But so my husband, your father, is out there. And he has to have surgery on Monday for his hand. He has carpal tunnel, which is not a big deal. But he has anxiety at the level that no one knows how crazy he is. Like, he is insane. So he is all worked up because he is going to be out for probably a week at least. I don't know how long he has to wear a brace or whatever. So he's out there trying to help. He was up all night last night because his whole arm was numb. He'd have to sit up and then he'd have to lay it back down. And then he has a CPAP machine. You have to take his CPAP machine on, but he has his carpal tunnel braces on, so he can't maneuver his CPAP machine. And then he gets up, the dogs get up. I'm like, something has to change, or because I love sleep. Like, I'm gonna murder someone, and I sleep about once every 3-4 days. I get like one good, like, I just pass out, and then last night I think would have been my pass out.
Did his legs and back hurt from chasing his dog?
Oh my God. And then I was on the phone with Britt and I hear yelling. Everyone in the neighborhood knows our dog's names. So I hear yelling and I see Hadley, who is 16.
She's old.
Take off running down, and we live on the top of a hill too. And so she's running down and I hear your father screaming after her, and he has a leash in his hand. Well, she took off after the deer and she's like galloping through the yard. We live on an 1.5 acres, and he'd get close. It was like when she was a puppy and I used to have to chase her. He'd get like an inch from her and she'd take off running again.
Because he can't bend down to grab her.
No, he can't grab her. And so then he finally catches her, because I'm guessing her heart felt like it was going to explode. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, we're just out for a walk. Are you out for a walk?
As he was heavily breathing.
Oh my God. It is. I'm sorry. I do love him. I feel like I bitch about him all the time, but he bought us this house with 3 floors. Like, if we go from one floor to another, both of us, I mean, we should be in way better shape. Okay,
this whole 3-floor thing. So those of you who don't know, when they first tried to move to Kansas, I, for some reason, was back home. Again, who knows?
Thought you were gonna live with me,
spend times. Yeah, I thought I was going to move back in. It's okay. And they went house hunting, and they found this house that they loved, right? It was 6 floors. Were there 6? Like, it was like,
but it was little
on No, it was like on Harry Potter, where the Weasleys lived. It was just straight up and down a tower, and I'm like, there is no way you guys at this time. And what year did you move to Kansas? Because this was back in.
It was 10 years ago. We moved in 2014.
Okay, so
right?
10 years ago, I was like, you cannot go up and down that many stairs. My dad is crippled. 10 years ago, I said this.
And I know. I'm aware.
And fast forward 10 years, you guys have a 3-level house on the side of a hill.
Yep.
With a crippled dog.
Oh my God.
A dog who does not listen. And you two, one person has no
Kiki.
strength, and Kiki, who I don't know how she has not tripped Dad up and down those stairs, but.
Oh my God. Okay, this is the best part. So the house is in remodel. Like, I haven't had a stove or a dishwasher since
December.
Because I had them get rid of it because I thought that would. But then anyway, okay, that's neither here nor there. So it's in remodel. We ripped out the bathroom on the main floor. So you have to go to the bottom floor where that is the only full bathroom. Today, I showered in the only main thing. So you have to walk out.
Does your toilet still work on that main level though?
Yeah. So the main, yes.
Oh, okay.
It's just a half bath. We have.
But you can have a clear conversation when you're in there.
Because it's a log cabin. Like, if you go to the bathroom, and I did not know about a log cabin that it's all together.
No privacy.
But I forgot all of my clothes up in the main level. So I had to walk up the steps with a towel on. I'm like, and the front door to go out is all glass. I'm like, oh, for the love of God. I hope that no one comes or can see. Well, you can't see in the glass door. You can only see out it. Like, when it has that reflective. So
Yeah,
people
but
can't
there's
really
still that
see.
thought in your head that's like somebody can see
And
in.
do you want that angle of a 60-year-old woman going up the steps with just a towel on? I mean, that's all I thought.
Okay,
Like,
so this
oh
makes a
my
little
God.
more sense though, that my youngest has spent how many years with you? Like of his so unfortunately his dad has been deployed and on year-long tours. So a lot of his that makes sense because he's like, I can't change down here. I'll be in
No.
just my unders.
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
you wear swim trunks to the swimming
Different.
pool. And he's like, no, I can't be in my underwear. And then the fingerprint lady came and he had pants on, fully clothed except a shirt. He is a boy.
Okay,
And he's like, I have to go get a shirt on. Somebody's
that's
coming in the house. I have to get a
that's
shirt on.
probably because we made fun of your dad every time he's had his shirt on.
Probably. So another thing, I love that instead of just blaming my childhood on you, I can blame my children's weird quirks on you. He has finally though, so he watched, I need to check the iPads again right now because he watched some scary YouTube video about monsters. And he's so funny because so he came and he asked if he could sleep in our room. I was like, try sleeping in your bed for a minute, which if, let's just be honest, if his dad were gone, I would have been like, he would have been in my bed anyway. Because I have one child who always wants to sleep with me and one child who from the day he's like, can you just put me in my own bed? Like,
That's how
I just need
you
my
were.
own sleeping
You
area.
never have your own blankie. Didn't sleep with
And
me. You were like, no.
so Hugh, you will love this. Hugh's like, yeah, he came in, he's like, I can't sleep. He's like, I just keep thinking about the monsters. Now I know monsters are not real. I understand that they are not real. And I know a monster is not going to come get me. And I am not afraid of monsters. I just can't get it out of my head to stop thinking about it. Like he rationally explained. He like
You know, when you have a lot of fears, you have to be like, I know this can't happen.
But you know what it reminded me of? And it did make me a little bit of a proud, crazy mom because it reminds me of when I explained to Dustin when I'm like, I understand that the picture is not going to fall on their head right now. And I understand that this is irrational. And what I am needing from you is maybe irrational, but I'm going to need you to just do it because it will make me feel better. So then I'm like, I wonder if he's picked up on when I explain that I understand that I'm being irrational.
So, but my irrational is somewhat rational. So, like I said, the house is fully torn apart. So I have all these bookshelves. Well, Penelope's coming. So I'm immediately putting heavy things in all the bottoms of them because she's going to pull the bookshelf over on herself.
Because
Plus,
who did? Somebody did. Didn't Ava pull one on her?
You did. I had a microwave stand for a TV stand, and I had my 3 Precious Moment figurines on the top of my TV. And you were like little, but your dad luckily caught the TV before it smushed you like a pancake. I mean, it really is the fact that you survived.
That was the other thing we were talking about is I don't even remember what triggered this, but I'm like, I think a memory came up of Cash when he was a baby. And I'm like, what fool let us take home a child from like, I had no business raising a child, right? Like none at 27.
27? You were 27 when you had him?
Yes, I was. Remember? Because I had a timeline and my timeline, Dustin was not following my timeline.
It was not working.
Anyway, then I'm like, oh my God, what fools let 17-year-olds take home a child from the hospital? Isn't there some weird child endangerment law?
I mean, there might be now.
But I strongly am on board that you shouldn't have your first kid till you're in your mid to late 30s. Like...
Oh my God, you're like Elon Musk, who's like, the birth rate is going down in the United States. If everybody doesn't just start having kids, we're not going to be able to. No. But doesn't he have like 18 kids or something?
Yes,
and I'm
he
like,
does.
Just because the birth rate is dropping, at some point, maybe it should have a little bit. Not everyone should have children or a lot of children, or maybe they should wait to have children. I mean, was having a child at 17 probably the best thing?
I mean, I feel like I turned out very, very well.
Do you? It was so easy too.
Was it?
I mean, I was done having kids by the time I was 23.
Oh yeah, that's weird. I don't even know. Um, okay, let's go into, so I don't know if it can qualify as effing Jepsons, but or my favorite animal. It might be both. Is the Ike and Ivy Center.
Oh, Jesus.
They have way too much fun. Like, let me just tell you. So every morning, my sister and I, our codependent relationship, she knows what time I drop the boys off at school. And it doesn't feel that I feel like she might watch my GPS location and be like when I turn a corner. So she calls me when I turn that corner. And typically, because I have 6,000 Starbucks points, I go over the bridge, I take a stroll over the bridge and get a Starbucks and come back. But I didn't today.
Isn't there
Anyway,
a Starbucks on your site? Like in a
no.
one of the
I
grocery
live in
stores doesn't have
Podunk.
one?
Yes, but they don't make the drinks appropriate. They don't accept stars. That's what it is. Because I'm not going to spend any money right now. I am on a budget. I use my stars. Taylor also asked me how I was getting Starbucks. And I'm like, because I have stars. Anyway, I'm on the phone with her, and her and our one employee, Leanne, show up at the same time. And all of a sudden I hear, what the fuck? Don't record. Don't post that. I swore. And I'm like, what is happening in the area? And they FaceTime me. The clinic team had wrapped the entire office of the operations team in wrapping paper for April Fools. They wrapped their slippers to keep their feet warm. They wrapped their chairs. They wrapped pins individually, post-it note pads, staplers. Like it would, I don't even know how much time. But the best part is Taylor posted it on her social media, and we had people who were even like giving alibis, quote unquote, for like Jackie and Jackie's kid for Jackie and Lily. Oh my God. For Leanne, like everyone was getting an alibi. So everyone was involved in it. So I decided that Ike and Ivy have too much fun.
Well, here's the thing though. Let's talk about the clinic and the operations team. The clinic
Two
team
very different teams
are very excited about everything. They are, oh my God, it's
theme.
perfect.
They love a theme. They love a theme and a bulletin board.
Oh my God, the bulletin boards, everything. And then we have the operations team or the sloth team.
We call them the sloths.
Because neither Taylor or Melissa are too energetic. And even when they're in, like Taylor gets a little manic, but Melissa and Taylor's like, they're just like even, like nothing. It's just
like we tried to help them through how to respond to the clinical team.
And they were like,
and they're like, what can we do? Oh, how much will that cost us?
or how much effort? What's the effort?
What's the effort? What's the
But
response cost that goes into?
To be fair, Taylor was sick. She thought it was just because she didn't sleep, and then she ended up being sick. But I still wonder if I think maybe Taylor will rally at some point and they'll get back at him. But
I feel like it will. They won't know it. Clinical won't know it's coming because Taylor still has a little Hattie in her.
Oh yeah, she's gonna get back at him. It just will be when they're least expecting it.
I feel like it's gonna be with something messy too.
I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because they are very, very different sides of the coin, which I gave them suggestions and they're like, that's too much.
Too much.
Too much.
Too much work. Cost too much. Too much work.
I know. Every time you even ask Taylor or we were on a meeting, I'm like, this meeting's costing you like thousands of dollars.
She's like, well, wrap it up. Wrap it up. Whose time are we on right now? I need to know. Who's being billed for this meeting?
Yeah, and then I'm like, it's owned by the same people.
I do appreciate that though. Who I was on with Oh, that one meeting we got on where both Taylor and Alicia were on, and they were like, "Oh, nope, this is now on K Now time. Nope, this is on Ike and Ivy time. No, this is on K Now." I'm like, "Thank you, Alicia and Taylor,
Oh my
for being
God.
you." Yeah.
So,
Okay. Let's talk about you being high. Too high.
too high. Well, I think I talked about that already. It was the pasture, and I've got we need to do a team challenge where I get in shape again.
Team challenge. Anissa gets in shape.
Yeah, like I don't, but then I don't do well with
I was going to say,
like,
you have to check in regularly.
yeah, I don't know what will motivate me. I think if I have a stove,
Will it?
I don't know. Oh my God, I'll just send you a picture of our refrigerator. There are 4.5 gallons of ice cream in there. Because your dad can't have chocolate because he gave it up for Lent. So he just buys like different ice creams to see if he likes anything. But
He
it
doesn't.
is, yeah,
He
that's
does
part of
not.
the problem. And your dad's an enabler. Like he's like, I'll be like, oh, I'm really hungry. He's like, oh, let me get you a bowl of ice cream or let me do this.
Let me take out the effort for it.
Yeah. And
Well,
it's him. That's what I'm going to blame it on. It's all him.
it's all
But
him.
I wish that one of you would, you talk about how you always like were here. Why don't you come back and take care of him when he has surgery? Like where are any of our children then? No one shows up.
I will. It's just a week off.
Well, that's not helpful. It's
You need
not
to switch.
helpful.
And I actually do believe that I gave a suggestion of how he could intertwine to be able to see the boys, if we do remember. So I did give a suggestion.
You would
So
take care
he
of him
gave up.
though.
No, I wouldn't. I don't like taking care of people. I don't. It's okay. So you gave up Sprite. Have you had Sprite yet?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Dad hasn't had chocolate yet. Cash still has not watched his TV in his bedroom.
Has Huey learned more about the Lord? Because he
So
didn't give up
that's the
anything.
no, but that's what he wanted. So this morning in pickup line or drop off line, we got to explain. I got to the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, Good Friday, um, Easter Sunday. I got to explain all of that. And Hugh, the best part, he's like, so the Holy Spirit's like air. Like it helps us live, but we can't see it. I'm like, yes, Huey. It is like air.
It's like air.
The Holy Spirit's like air. But as I'm going over with Hugh this information, I was like, yeah, that's a good referencing the Holy Spirit to air. And my other son would like to tell me, you made an inference, not a reference.
Oh my God, that makes me think. So I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown on Friday.
Okay.
Because my youngest child will be 30.
Yes.
30.
Well, did you order him his birthday present from the boys?
No, I have. Okay.
Okay.
Let me get a sticky note.
Need to
and
make
write
sure
that down.
to do that. Yes.
Yeah, 30. I'm 60. And
I'm
now
going to have a nervous breakdown because my brother is 30. I don't know why, but I'm going to.
that's because we treat him like he's a child. That could be part of it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He is, well, okay.
Okay.
He wanted to get a rabbit. Okay, it's hard not to and dress it up and carry it in a overalls and carry it in a pouch. It's hard not to be like, okay.
I feel like that's a really good segue into our ABA segment of the with Cash and Kyler.
Oh, for the love of
So
God.
today is the day we're recording. Today is World Autism Day. So April 2nd. April is Autism Awareness, Autism Acceptance Month. And so I, first off, have two different children. I explained to them they were wearing blue today. And Cash fought me. He's like, I don't want to wear a blue K Now shirt. I'm like, okay, doesn't have to be K Now. Just wear a blue shirt. Finally found a blue shirt. Got it. My other son has blue socks, blue pants, blue
Loves
underwear,
a
blue
good theme.
shirt. He loves a
Loves
good
a
theme.
theme.
Could not find a blue hat though.
Uh-oh.
That was yep. So his head is not on theme. Not
His
at all.
eyes are blue.
They're hazel.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh no, they are. Yeah, they're not blue.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
They're not blue. Yeah.
All Taylor's
So
kids' eyes are blue. Okay.
yeah,
Got
I
it.
know. Don't rub it in. Anyway, so they're on brand. So my other thing is I want them to know if somebody like asks them, because Hugh will be like, I'm wearing blue for autism. He will say that. Cash won't say anything. He'll never talk to anyone about it. But so I'm like, okay, so when we explain why we're wearing blue, what is autism? And Cash's explanation is always go straight to they can't talk. And I think it's because we work with so many kiddos who don't have their vocalizations, and we joke around with our shirt that says we teach kids to talk back. And so that's in his head. And Hugh's explanation was they just do different things. And I'm like, okay, so I actually think that those were pretty good for a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old to explain to me what autism was. So I would love for our 1 or 2 listeners to let us know like how they would explain it to their kids. But what I talked about with them for what autism was is like how sometimes different brains work differently. Some people are super, super smart, but won't look you in the eye. Some people can't talk.
Want a rabbit.
Some people want a rabbit to dress up and just some people eat red 40 and go off the wall. So like I didn't say that, but so I was trying to explain just different things for them to share also. So I'm interested to hear what Huey says and what he explains during his class.
So they've grown up. I mean, Cash was 4 when we started K now. So, and Hugh wasn't born, or he was little. What, a year? I don't know how.
Yeah, he's a he just turned 1. He's a COVID
so
baby,
they've
toddler.
only known us working with kids, and
Yes.
our clients that they hear us talk to
or that they've interacted with.
When they were little, they would interact. When we go to the centers and they're with us, it is a lot of kids that don't communicate vocally or things like that. So I remember I took Hattie to a center and I said to Hattie, now remember,
just so all is aware, as a disclaimer, we have these approved and appropriate measures taken before our kids are introduced to any center.
To anyone.
Okay.
So I took Hattie to the center, and she wanted so badly to go play with the kids and do this and do that. So we're out. We actually weren't in the back part of the center. We were in the front. So like the entryway, kind of, there was an office and like the foyer or whatever. and one of the kids was getting dropped off, which he had like some aggression, but not a ton. And he saw Hattie and he zoned in on her and took off and she froze. Like froze. And he grabbed her and hugged her and and Hattie is like a starfish. She just stood there.
I also think she probably stood there too because we go through, like, we teach them a lot of how to react and how to not react during certain situations. And her fight or flight was like, okay, I know I can't remember 100% what I'm supposed to do, but I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to react. And this is me not reacting.
So we were able to unengage the client from her. And I was so glad because he was and like I said, he was just dropped off at transportation. I had no idea that he was, well, he should have eloped from us, but that's a whole nother issue. But I'm like, oh, thank God he did not just take a chunk out of her or whatever. But he was non-vocal. But I mean, they've grown up knowing how to
Mm-hmm.
interact, what they should do, how, I mean, it's just another one of those instances where I think that us working in the centers we work in, not only with kids with autism, but also like our, Hattie wanted a hijab. Like she wanted to wear, I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember what their dresses are called. Like she loves that. Like she's like, they're so beautiful.
Learning
And
different
she would have
cultures.
never, yeah, she would have never been, engaged or interacted at that level with someone that dressed that much differently than she is living where she lives. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that it's, it's just such a great thing for them to see. But they have had instances where they've done really well. They do really well with kids of all abilities, and not just if they went to a center, if it's when they're on the playground, when
Mm-hmm.
they're wherever,
Or the
they're so
airplane. That's we
accepting.
just I didn't tell you, I don't think I told you, but so on our last trip up there, my way with the boys, there was somebody on the plane whose kiddo was on the autism spectrum. Like she let everyone in the area know that and like
Which is so
explain this
nice to be
is
like, I'm so sorry, like
yeah,
this is how what
yeah,
might
you
happen
don't
and this is
have to
why.
do that. I
No.
get that. But
Mm-mm.
letting everyone know, and like both are my boys, like one time the kid dropped the toy, they helped him get it back. They
Mm-hmm.
were interacting with him and talking to him, and he was on the more severe side. He had a lot of the repetitive behaviors and screaming, and was not, you could tell he did not want to be in the airport. But I was so proud that they interacted without a beat. Like it didn't
Mm-hmm.
take it.
Yeah.
But then it also reminds me too of Cash in daycare when he was getting bit. And I'm like, why does he
That
keep
one.
getting bit? And the daycare provider's like, we're trying to get him to not get bit and stuff. But the little boy, Cash is his only friend, and Cash loves playing with him. But he just keeps biting Cash because he doesn't know how to communicate
Mm-hmm.
like Cash does. And let me just say, Cash was communicates in his own way too. But anyway, it didn't skip a beat with him to be friends with somebody who just kept biting him. Like I don't know. I feel like I don't think kids need to be labeled by any means whatsoever, but the more we encourage our kids to interact with other kids who do have different behaviors and
Mm-hmm.
different things, I also think like Hattie and Hugh carry their emotions. Like they are two extremely emotionally driven children. And so I know that I've seen Hugh, and I'm sure Hattie's done it too, but help kind of calm kids down who have those stronger emotions. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Hugh tell other kids, okay, let's take a breath in his own Hugh way. But I don't know. I feel like there does need to be less, and again, I don't think there has to be labels, but more encouragement to interact with kids who are having those different behavior problems. That's,
Well,
we had
and
a
not
little kid
even
at
it,
baseball last night. He was great. Go ahead.
well, and even just the acceptance that we're all very different. And I think that's
Mm-hmm.
where people struggle.
Well, and I
And
think
it's
people are good. That Survivor clip I shared, and I know
oh yeah.
hopefully everyone has seen it. We'll put it in our show notes. But they didn't know she had autism until that point. Like the rest of the team members had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Her actual team had no idea. And I think it was a great um co-regulation opportunity where the one guy did know she had it. I don't watch Survivor, so I don't even know how it works, but she did disclose to him that she had it because she needed somebody just in case, and he got moved to a different team, but he was still helping to like co-regulate, and she was able to focus, able to get the task done, but then the task was over, she finished, and she was not able to regulate herself, and her teammates were hugging her and trying to like be like, oh, just take a breath, it's great, everything. And it wasn't until like he was able to go and like help her breathe through it. But I think getting to see more things where she was functioning just typical neurotypical functioning during
what we assume is
what we assume.
neurotypical.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
she was matching her her
Mm-hmm.
peers. That's
Yeah.
let me say that she
Yeah.
was
There you
matching
go.
her peers, and they didn't. I don't honestly know what they felt, but she was matching her peers up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And so that clip lets us see, like, yes, people on the spectrum, like, they can match their peers, but there might be an instance when they aren't able to anymore. But making it so more typical,
Yeah. Well, and
I
I
think
think,
is
and
important.
I think just even that conversation about what is typical and what is non-typical, and how, I mean, I think that is one of the things that I know that our clients struggle with, specifically because in any individual that has immigrant parents, or um, very different belief systems than like a public school setting versus a home setting versus whatever, like I think that is like our clients know how to, or they learn how they should act in the school setting, how I need to act when I'm at home, how I need to act, which all kids do that, but I feel like the degree is like, it's so, there's such a different divide in how they have to. And
Yeah.
I always love when I get a new client that they're like, well, they're not communicating in, vocally communicating, and they actually do, they just don't speak English. I always am like, how do they communicate? When I talk to parents, are they responding to you in a different language? Are they respond to you in English? Or because a lot of times when they go to school, they don't respond to an English task demand, because they don't understand English, because they've only had little bits of English. And so it's just very interesting to see how the kids that we see, like how they develop and what needs to be done, how they can, I mean, anyone that is on that autism spectrum, their brains are just so magnificently different. Oh my God.
Yes.
It's just,
yeah, it's amazing.
Fascinating to me.
Well, and I think right now there's a big discussion on the prevalence of autism and how it's increased and everything. And there's a huge focus lies around why is it increasing? Why do we have to have the diagnosis? And I think I always say somebody could call me up and I could explain to them why we have it. But I think that goes with, I don't think we should have to label people unless they want to be labeled and they want to self-identify. I think that is great. That is a personal preference and everything. But the reason that we have to use that autism label, that ASD label that comes from the DSM-5, is because we can't support a lot of our clients without that insurance payment, and the insurance is driving that need to have a label and need to have a diagnosis.
Could just take a completely different.
I know. I just feel like this is my last soapbox for it.
Yes.
But the labeling, that just is what is getting me. Like, I don't think that we should have to do it, but it is driven by insurance and that prevalence and that increase. And we see it because we're so tied to it. But I've seen it. I've been I think I'm at 18 years that I've been in the field now. And I've seen how parents get turned away. And yes, we would love to pro bono and give support to everyone. But again, it is a career field and we do have to pay our workers. And we can't do that without insurance payments. And we can't submit to insurance without a diagnosis, which then creates a label. But oh my gosh, my husband is he doesn't listen to us anyway. He's not one of our 2 listeners. But I struggle with that with Cash right now. And his isn't an autism diagnosis. His is that ADHD. But he's in such a good place in his school right now that he doesn't need it. He doesn't need that IEP support that we fight for so hard for some people, because he has such a great teacher right now. But I'm so worried about next year and what next year is going to look like. And I can get teacher buy-in, but to actually push back and get what is needed from the school, I have to have those 504 and IEP. And in order to get those, you have to have that diagnosis. So then I'm putting a label on my child when he's 9 that he most likely would have forever.
Right.
And so that's not, I didn't know that made me emotional, but apparently it does.
Oh my God.
I
So,
know.
but I think too, and so I think that's where we struggle with parents who know that their kids need support, but also don't want to do, I mean, I think that's with anything. Like, you don't want to make a decision for your child at 7, 8, 9, 6, whatever, when they start school, that is going to affect them the rest of their lives with that diagnosis. And so I think that's where we get that pushback from parents. And I do believe that it's hard, because I wish there was some way you could get that support without, especially those kids that are borderline, because I do feel you don't outgrow autism. You don't outgrow certain medical conditions, you just don't. But you learn how, you can learn how to manage, or just like we talked about in the survivor thing, like she knew how to match peer for peer. Like, she had obviously had, whether it was ABA or something else, but she had that support that helped her learn how to adapt to certain things. And that's what parents need. And that's what parents want. But yet then they're forced to make these decisions. And
I also think that it is on community members, like it is on everyone else too, to check your biases, because I also know, and we've experienced, like a teacher could see a diagnosis and immediately have a preconceived notion of that child. And we know specifically my son, he is smart, but if he knows you're going to let him get by with being lazy, he will choose to be lazy.
He will roll around on the ground like an armadillo.
Like an armadillo, and choose to not do as much work. But if you push him, he's going to do what he needs to do.
See, so, and Kyler was so different than that.
Yeah.
Because Kyler didn't have the ADHD component of anything. Like, Kyler was so smart, but he also like knew his expectations. He would get all of his stuff done.
He could peer match. Like,
and then he would
totally peer match.
And then he would be like, I get my own free time but he also liked to read and do he wanted to work on his own projects.
He can self-regulate a little better than my child can self-regulate.
Well, and I mean, Kyler too, we were talking about that, because Kyler doesn't have any kind of diagnosis either, but he also didn't change schools. Like, he was he was in the same school and it's a small school. So I think when we joined schools, before they joined schools, he had 8 kids in his class. And then when they joined schools, he had maybe like 20, right? I think.
Yeah.
And Kyler's really
24.
Quiet. Yeah. Kyler's really quiet. He's very, I mean, when he knows, and like he said, I knew everybody.
Court.
I know. He was the most traumatic thing he had to do is they had like a drunk driving thing where he had to pretend like he was dead or something. Like, that was, but he could do all of those things if he knew what was going, like what his expectations
if
were.
If you use antecedent contingencies to set
something
expectations.
Like that. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
I mean, did you just you've been BCBAing since you were before you were a BCBA, but
whatever.
Okay. I feel like my soapbox could go on. My pit and peak. My pit was getting rear-ended, and now the boys are just like, and he was in that age where if you go even 1 mile over the speed limit, like he is in his rule following age of like, you have to do X, Y, and Z. And so this is really like, they're replaying it over and over
side
again.
of the car to behind you so he can't see the speedometer.
I thought about that. I did.
Swap those around.
My peak is honestly, so Cash, and something clicked in his head that now he went from catching 13 balls in a 2-hour span that he did 34 in a 30-minute span.
Oh
so
my
if we want
God.
to rate, may turn that into rate behavior analysts out there. But like and something clicked, and he loves baseball, and he got to watch some older kids play, and he wants to learn to either play second or first base now. So
Oh my God.
I love
That's
his
so exciting.
love for baseball. Yes.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, my pit. Let me see. I think that it is April 2nd and there are 5 inches of snow on the ground. It would be my pit. I don't care if I'm surrounded by mountains, trees, whatever. It is April. I want spring. That is my pit. I forever, anytime that is cold. My peak is I think that, again, the flexibility of what I do to be able to, when I had a really bad day, to go smell my horse.
Smell your horse. I'm like, are you out smelling your horse again? Yeah.
Maybe.
No, but I'm on my way there.
Maybe. I have an emotional support horse who is, 16'2".
Yes.
So the fact that I do still have that, and I do have a good team, and I mean, it is good.
It's good. All right. Well, go ahead and check us out on Facebook at And Then She Said Podcast, and Instagram at And Then She Said Podcast. I'm pretty sure our Facebook is just And Then She Said, but we'll go with that. And be on the lookout for our more professional side of us in Powered by K Now.
Can't wait. That should be fun.
Bye.